All right, welcome back. I don't always do 1 a.m. videos, but when I do, it's usually an unboxing because just like you, I get really excited when a knife gets here. If I could only find a knife to open this package, where would that be? I'm actually looking for a very particular knife to open this package, but we may have to use a different one. Oh, that's in my pocket. Who would have thought? What a novel place for that to reside. Let me just go over here with this particular one, save some of the private information and try and open this box the right way because it's one that looks like it's really meant to be opened from the top down and not the other way around. Very cool seller, a guy I met on Blade forums, and he sold me another knife the other day, and then he sold me this knife, and then when we were talking, he told me he had this knife. And not only did he include this one in that same box, which I really appreciate, but he didn't have me pay for it, which is a theme that I'm learning about in the knife community, that when you say community, there really is some community. And I've noticed this most on Reddit, Knife Swap. There's actually a bunch of people that are just good humans looking out for each other and not trying to profit in the secondary market, and it's really fun. And these represent that. So let's get into them. So this one he's just sent me. He said, if you like it, buy it. And he gave me a good price, which is awesome. But this one I already bought. So let's jump into this one first. If I recall, this is one I already have, but he was looking to offload one. And we can get your hands on a nice Evo 3.0. I believe you should do it. Serial number 75 here. This is a pretty early run knife here. That's kind of cool. So let's take a look. Oh, I remember now. For some reason I thought it was the satin finish, but this is the black DLC. Yes, when you get the opportunity to buy another black DLC, highly recommend doing it. Whew, look at that beauty. What a beauty. That thing comes down the finger hard. Gosh, they just do a good job. Such a cool knife. Oops. If only I knew how to use it. Or my tripod for that matter. It's so crazy, the finish on this. I just think a lot of people have called it out. There's just not a lot of knives that are finished like this. They just crushed this DLC coat. It's so different. It's like a polished DLC. It's just really good. Anyways, I've got a video on this. Feel free to check it out. So we'll keep this one pretty short on this particular knife. And let's jump in and take a look at the Koenig. This is the first Koenig I've ever had. I know that may come as a shock. I just finished up a very long FaceTime session with another collector. One of the few that I've met that actually has more knives than I do. Really cool guy. Met him on Reddit. And we're going to be swapping some knives, but he had a couple Koenigs and really loves them, so got me that much more excited for this unboxing. So this is a November of 21 knife. Again, I think the seller just really knows his stuff and got in on things at the right time, man. He's not new to the game like myself in some ways. Not new to the Koenig game, at least. Oh, really nice finish. Gosh, yeah, I've seen the pictures of it, but you get that in hand and that feels really nice. It's not over the top. It's not, I've seen some really nice stuff, right? But it is really nice. Just that little detail in there the whole way through. And I like this one. I like the blue, but I like this where you have the sort of best of both worlds. There's some blue anno hardware available. I really liked the way this one worked, where you had the blue on the back spacer and not on the screws. So I like the screws too, though. Don't get me wrong, but I like this one more. And this one's an M390 knife, which is cool too. So I know they now are brought them out in Magna and stuff, so that's next level. But let's move this beautiful box out of the way here. And let's see what this knife's all about. Let's start with the flipper. It's always the easier one. Wow, snap. That is a really, ooh. Well, I get the hype. That didn't take long. That's really nice. Let's see if this is something you can roll out. Yeah, it's not great for it, right? It is a tie frame lock at the end of the day. The action on the close is insane. Really tight tolerance too. This is one thing I've really noticed on frame locks is there's a pretty wide variety of how wide, you know, this gap is. And this one has a pretty tight tolerance there. That's pretty cool how you can see through the pocket clip there to the blade. And there's a serial number in there, actually. This one's a Gen 4 B7. I guess it's not a serial number, but maybe a part, not a part number, but like a version number, I think would be the right term. Well, I'm buying this one. That did not take long to determine. I haven't even done the reverse yet, but yeah, I was a feeling on the thumb that it might not be the most. I'm sure a better knifesman than me. What I like is how your finger can actually sit into the pocket clip there too. That's a nice little feature. If you, you know, I sometimes do my reverse flicks like this with my hand in, and that's kind of nice for that. But let's do it the right way on this one. Oops, bumped the bottom right here onto the table. Luckily, that's not a problem there. Try that again properly. Very nice. I don't like it as much as like the Evo. I like the Evo's reverse flick a little more, but it's very snappy, very, very snappy. I like the flipper on this. I really like the flipper on this. Man, that is satisfying. And then the close is just, that's about as good as I've seen. So let's get it out. Let's take a look at the blade a little bit. This one was sold as new in box. I tend to agree. It does appear to be new in box. Let's go ahead and just get it fully cleaned up here. If I'm seeing it right, it looks like a really nice hollow ground on this blade. If I'm seeing it right, let me, yeah, that is a nice hollow ground on there. Keep me honest, self. Is that a hollow ground? I'm pretty sure it is. If not, like, you know, I just was handling a one of the most obvious hollow grounds. Yeah, you can see. One of the ways you can tell if it's a hollow ground is if you get the light on it kind of like this, you'll see kind of a curve in there as opposed to like a flat line. You can kind of see the way the light plays with it. So yeah, looks really cool. Sweet knife. I definitely understand why this is one of the more hyped up knives out there. I mean, look at this. This is straight up and down. I only have to go to like a 20-degree angle. And if I were to do that with any level of gravity, like any level of momentum, it'd be that much easier. Now I did just lock stick myself. So that is, you know, again, one of the negative things. Now it's got plenty of, it's actually, it has enough, but it's not that much. There's definitely a factor. It'd be so cool if this had an inset frame lock. Oh my gosh, this would be such a great knife. But, you know, it's kind of like a hinderer. Same thing on the hinderer. You just have to hold your knife right. It's much easier to deploy, I'd say, than a hinderer. Okay, so I think part of why I was not getting the thumb deployment earlier is I think I was lock sticking myself on that too. So, you know, some of these knives are not very sensitive to the lock, and you can kind of get away with some stuff. This one is pretty lock sensitive, I'd say. He definitely has some lock stick, if that's what you want to call it. Whereas, might as well just pull this back out, actually. I think it's a really interesting comparison knife, because I'd say these two are both at the very top end of what's being done in tie frame locks right now. In terms of action, they're very similar in size. The Koenig feels a little lighter. Probably feels like an ounce lighter or something like that. But that is one of the things I really like about the Evo is you can be, I mean, first of all, there's more purchase. There's more area to not be on the liner or on the lock, right? So you can just see there's probably 30, 40%, call it like 30%, 25 or 30% more area that you can avoid that lock situation, which is great, right? Then you're just much less likely to do it. However, if you do put pressure on it, the knife can still come out pretty easily. So I don't know how they do that differently, what the engineering difference is. But that is one of the things I noticed about this knife is you almost never lock stick yourself, which is really cool. Now this knife is just radically different, maybe less true EDC in a lot of ways for a lot of people, but kind of a cool comparison there, and benefits of each. They each have their things that I think they do a little better than one another. So cool to get these two at the same time. It's really a nice comparison side by side. And I think I'd be remiss if I didn't pull out the Oz Machine Co. Rosie, because this is another one that's, as you can see, I'm kind of on a tear right now, whereas I didn't buy a lot of frame lock knives for a long time, but I've found some lately that a lot of people really loved. And I thought I'd go down this path of trying to find some of the best frame locks out there. So huge difference in size. It's like not even close. Not that this is a straight line, but maybe I can find something that is here. That's probably not my favorite thing to do that with. Here we go. How about a Hinderer scale? That's pretty straight. I mean, it's a very big difference in size. But man, this is, God, this thing is good. It's so good. I'm trying to do it right now, lock stick myself on the Rosie, and you can still, I mean, that's not really the right, I'll lock stick myself with the appropriate, you can't really, it's made to deploy really well. You just don't lock stick yourself if you're doing the reverse flick. But maybe I don't want to hit the Koenig, hang on, there we go. This is just one of my favorite deploying knives I've ever handled. It's so good, God. Oh man, but really a different size category, and yeah, they're doing different things entirely here. Both great knives though, both great knives. Man, this is, the drop shuttiness on that is on a different level though. This is a much smaller, more EDC centric knife. This does not have, this is also a very brand new one. I don't know. I mean, that's a very thin blade stock and it's pretty new. So, God, that is crazy. Both of them have a very progressive, you can just see up here, it's so slicey. Okay, I gotta get some paper out and just see what this thing's capable of. This feels like one of the ones that could pass every test. We'll see. Let's take a look. This fresh piece of paper here. Whoa. Holy moly. It just melts into the paper. Like it takes no pressure. That's amazing. That's probably the best factory edge. I've been saying this a lot lately. That's the best factory edge. I've said that about like 5 knives in the last month. It's a really good factory edge. That's amazing. Some really nice hollow grind. How cool. Well, I'm stoked. I think that one lived up to the hype. It's exactly what I thought it would be, honestly. Just looking at it, hearing about it, it's 10% better than I thought it would be. I'd say that. Because you can't really imagine the feel of this one. I'm trying to think of what this feels like. It's reminding me of another knife. Hinderer. it's like a smoother hinderer. It's like what the hinderer wants to be. I wish it did have a thumb stud on it. I think that would be really nice to have a thumb stud on this knife. You know, a lot of people are probably like, dude, what are you talking about? But I think that would put it over the top for me. Now that I have not lock sticking myself though, it is very deployable with the thumb. Probably gotta keep your finger out of the way here. Dude, this is a very well engineered knife. Okay, let's get all this junk out of the way here. Yeah, it reminds me of a Rosie and a Hinderer and a Devo Stout. Can't really say that because the Devo Stout came after it, but let's see if this is what I think it is. Man, I don't know what's going on lately. I don't know if I'm using like the wrong paper or something, but I haven't had a knife pass this test in a while. Until now. Like that. I think it gets a little thick up here, so then it started to push it down, but that was pretty impressive. Very cool. Very excited to have one of these finally. That's a really nice blade finish too. Let's get this up, get this out of the background here and get a quick close-up of it. Highly milled out inside. I'm gonna have to do a weigh-in before the end of this video. Highly, highly milled out. Wow. Is that strong still? That's amazing. That's really cool. All the edges are just really nicely chamfered. Man. Bill Koenig. Boise, Idaho, I think it is. Is it Boise? It's somewhere in Idaho. I think it's Boise. I could do that all night. You can even do it like sideways. Like you don't even need. That's crazy. That's fun. Super glad to have it. Very excited to go send my friend here some more money. He deserves it for this one. I'm curious. It's an interesting fuller up here. It looks deeper than it is. I was wondering if maybe I could deploy from it, but no, it's not very deep there. I think it's just the continuity of design he's going for. Oh, sweet. Sweet, sweet. It's a good day when you find a new knife that you really like. That's this good. Now, there are a lot of these. Am I going to go collect all of them? I could see myself getting a couple more of these. These are really nice. I got to think about that. I could see a carbon fiber variation would be a nice one to have next to it in the safe. Man, that's cool. Oh yeah, let's weigh it in. I'm gonna guess this is right at 4.6 ounces if I had to guess. 4.6, 4.75, 4.75 ounces. But I'm really tired, so I could be way off. That's pretty good. 4.76 ounces. I love when a great plan works out. That's it for now. If you haven't yet gotten your hands on one of these, probably need to do a little saving first. But yeah, I'd say you should. This is a very nice knife. Big flaw being the lock stick, but overall it's a little joy to get to experience. So very excited to have it. Thanks. Please like, subscribe, comment. I don't know anything about Koenig, so I'm sure you got a lot to say about it. Would love to hear about it, learn about it. That's how I learn a lot of what I do, is from you. Please let me know what I should. Cheers. I will see you on the next one, and take care.